3 smaller cap altcoins I am looking to accumulate into November. And if you look into this chart on my right hand side, you'll understand exactly why right now we could be about to approach the biggest bull run for the altcoins that we have seen in multiple years. This is a big one. Hit the like button and let's get into it now, guys. Now, what is this chart? I hear you cry. Well, this chart here is representative of the total altcoin market minus a Bitcoin. And as you look into it, you will see something very significant on the weekly. We've just gone above the 50 EMA, and we're currently challenging a breakout of this pattern here. Around 75% of the way through these patterns, we tend to see a breakout. It's literally right this second this week. And if you subscribed, of course, you would have seen me talk about this yesterday. But that's fine. I can repeat myself because most people need to listen to something 3 times for it to sink in. Let's have another try, shall we? Yesterday, we talked about USDT dominance. Now, if you are holding cryptocurrency when the market's going up, then you want to be in the game, obviously, because that's how you make money. And on the way down, you try and pull it out and put it into USDT, because obviously the US dollar doesn't really move so much. So it means if the USDT dominance is high, it means that people are taking their money into safe haven, which is USDT. They'll pull it out of USDT to put into less safe havens, such as Bitcoin and whatever crypto, and then you see the USDT dominance fall. Interesting. And these blue lines represent that every time the USDT dominance has fallen underneath this red line, which represents the 50 exponential moving average, then you can see we run into the altcoin market. This on the bottom is total market cap of altcoins minus Bitcoin. Okay, this is really important because right now Bitcoin dominance is very high. It appears to be topping out. If it comes back down, this is very important because it means the altcoins will shove. And that's where we want to be in the right space. Look, this was the first time it happened. You can see the first line, USDT comes under, total market cap goes up. Then the next time here, around the 9th of August 2021, we dip underneath again, we retest. And for that whole second period is when we see the biggest bull run in the altcoin markets. Then we've seen basically USDT for the entire bear market remain above this red line. However, in the last week, we've seen it go hard underneath that red line. At the same time, and look at these blue lines, this is the same day or same week data, you can see we are challenging this top line. If that bursts, guys, we are into something very big and it's going to happen before you can even react. And I know, I've been talking too much perhaps. What are these altcoins he's going to give me? Now, the first one is Rollbit. Now, why am I talking about Rollbit? Well, I didn't really give Rollbit the attention it deserved for quite a while now, and it is starting to move. And I'm like kind of annoyed at myself that I didn't get in earlier. I've seen various people such as Miles Deutscher and Virtual Bacon talk about this coin in good detail. And for some reason, I never really kind of took any action. Now, Rollbit is a very interesting one. First of all, market cap around 670 million. That's not very big considering the industry it's in. Now, effectively, Rollbit is a betting site. Sports books, online casino, and also crypto trading. They basically hit degens at every single angle in order to maximize cash flow. And you know as well as I do, the house always wins, and that's why they're making so much damn money at the moment. Whether you like gambling or not, it's important to pay attention to this, because these are the largest online traditional gambling companies, and you can see ranging in market caps from around $20 billion down to around $13 billion. But that's not just why I'm so bullish in Rollbit. Right now, you've got something very interesting happening in crypto. People start to invest money in crypto, but they don't really pay attention to how much money those crypto companies really make. Ultimately, you're betting on the success of different cryptos. But typically, what forces crypto prices up and down is lots of people buying them at the same time or taking money out. For example, recently, I found out that Algorand's revenue was less than around $5,000 a month, which is pretty worrying considering the market cap is all the way up there. But if you look into Rollbit coin, something very different is showing up. If you look at the casino revenue in the last 24 hours, you can see it's $724,000. The 24 hours for crypto revenue is $561,000. So now we're nearly at $800,000 between the two of them. And then you got the 24-hour sports revenue, another $170,000 on top, which puts you to near enough $1 million of revenue in one single day, which in a year is about $365 million. Of revenue in current conditions. Then we also need to take into account that they're also burning a bunch of tokens, and then they're using the money that they're generating from revenue to buy back into tokens. 20% of all of the revenue then gets put into the value of the crypto coin. 20% of Rollbit's casino profits are then shared back into the token. Now, this is very interesting because in this recent video that Virtual Bacon took us through, really good YouTube channel, by the way, definitely worth checking out. He was talking about the PS ratio. PS ratio is effectively the amount of money that a crypto project or any project is generating and the amount of the value of the market cap. And he basically pulled out a bunch of these other cryptos that were generating good volumes of revenue, and he worked out their PS ratio to being around 2.55 in a conservative one in like Lido to around 15.8 in GMX. He then worked out that the ratio for Rollbit was around 1.32, which meant at the time of working this out, the valuation was around 401 million, but the conservative one should be around $750 million market cap, and the high end should be around $3.6 billion. So around $3.6 billion is a 6x, and that's just using the statistics of the market as it is literally standing right now. You can then go into this June dashboard and look at what's going on behind the scenes of Rollbit, and you can see that they're basically accumulating various balances all the time in the likes of Ethereum balances, Solana balances, and the rest. So it's no mystery that Rollbit has been pumping in the last few days along with Solana because a lot of their valuation is coming as well from other cryptos. And look at this, Rollbit aggregated unique depositors over time. This is only going to continue to grow outside of the crypto market because basically it's a gambling site that has a cryptocurrency, and the cryptocurrency benefits from the gambling site, and the gambling site generates more money. It brings in more people who use it. They tell their friends. You know how this works, guys. Imagine if it's already around a sixth or a seventh of the value it should be. This is what I was telling you before with the likes of Solana. It was massively undervalued compared to where it really should be in the market right now. And that's what allowed it to do around a 4x this year already. I think Rollbit, although it's been having a good run so far, continues to the upside in the sort of short to medium term. And then in the bull market, who knows just how big this can get. I'm also seeing that Twitter start to gain followers. Now, as if this wasn't enough, something really significant. Most crypto companies that we want to be investing in right now, we need to be looking down the line for something unique or something good that's going to be launched about them. Some piece of news or catalyst that's suddenly going to push that price up. For example, recently that Solana news with Visa, with Shopify, with Amazon Web Services, and a bunch of other news that's happening in different cryptos. Rollbit currently is only available on the likes of like Uniswap, okay? That's the decentralized exchange. And yet they're still doing $8 million in volume. In fact, all of these together, like over $8 million in volume every day on a centralized exchange. It's not even on like Gate.io or one of the like smaller exchanges yet. Imagine this gets put on like BitGet, Binance, MEXC, KuCoin, and all that jazz. Guys, you can only imagine the potential for a project like this. That's what I'm looking forward to. However, before you all dive in and tell me this must be a sponsored video because some guy with 3 followers on YouTube told you it was, well guys, this is not a sponsored video. I promise you that, okay? The only sponsorship I'm actually going to do at the end, and it's going to be for my own Discord. What we can see is Rollbit is very high in the last few months, okay? I am always telling you to be very cautious about diving into crypto projects that have already done, since its launch, June, all the way up 7x, 8x already, okay? I don't like that, okay? I do want it to pull back. I'm saying that we need to pay attention to what's going on right now. Maybe we don't get it on the weekly, maybe we have to wait on the daily, but you can see it topped out a couple of days ago, and since then it's already pulled back pretty hard, okay? 18, 19%. No matter how good a project this sounds, again, when a price is high, people will sell it. When a price is low, people will buy it. I think maybe we get a dip down. If we can come back down towards this moving average that maybe comes up here, and we get a dip into sort of this area through here, we have ourselves a buy zone somewhere around 17 cents. I'd be probably quite happy to be buying Rollbit at, to be honest. Okay, so personally, I'm looking to accumulate. If we can get to around 17 cents, if it comes a little lower, even better. But I'm not going to be buying it right this second for the reason it's kind of expensive. So we stick that one away for another day. Jumping into the second one we're going to talk about, which is Ocean Protocol. Now, Ocean Protocol we talked about very much earlier on in the year, and it's basically a decentralized data exchange for AI tools. And what does that mean? Well, earlier on in the year, we saw a bunch of AI cryptos suddenly pumping towards the upside. We saw Ajax, we saw Ocean Protocol, we saw Fetch, we saw Numeraire, and a few others going up hard. Right now, we're starting to see a little bit more attention flooding back into that AI marketplace because a lot of those AI coins went hard up and have crashed back down. Now they're into a point I want to be accumulating again. We will look at the chart in a moment. But what's important to note, market cap is not very big, around $234 million. Currently, the circulating supply, not great, just over 40%. That's not necessarily ideal. I get lots of people get really like edgy and upset about that stuff. But given where we are, I still think we're going to see a good push. Now, as we look into Ocean, data is the new asset class. Basically, the platform allows for smart contracts to control people being able to access various different types of data. This is really important. Going forward, data, the industry behind data, is worth billions and billions of dollars. And Ocean basically brings a variety of these different features. Now, what I quite like about it is it's not really a very specific tool when it comes to AI, but it's more kind of a general one, which means if the AI niche and trend starts to blow up, I believe Ocean Protocol's success will be heavily and closely tied to that. But what really gets me more excited about what I see in Ocean Protocol is actually the chart. And it's because of this, guys. If you look into the chart itself, it's been around for a little while. In the past, it climbed all the way up to the dizzying heights of $1.93. Currently, it's sat pretty low down. Okay, it's around a 4x back to all-time highs. And you're like, well, it's not really very big. But actually, we are starting to see, and already you're seeing a little bit of growth. So maybe we have missed out initially on an initial move. But actually, that move that we see there is actually very insignificant, because I do believe in a short space of time, if I can catch it, I might be able to catch this sort of 40-50% move up here, which isn't too bad at all. Because really, I think if we're getting a bigger push in like the altcoins and stuff like that, I think we're going to see a push beyond that high and potentially towards the next highs in and around this zone at around a 2x. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, I'm looking for sort of 2x's or so. Something else as well, if we join up the dots, you can see that we basically broke through. There wasn't really much volume in the market. We retested and we started to bounce. Now we're starting to move again. This pattern is somewhat of a descending triangle, which technical breakout would see us up to around the sort of just above $2 level. And obviously, once we get into kind of blue sky territories, who knows? This could be an exciting one to watch, and something that we could see a move coming out in the next like month to 6 weeks or so. Not necessarily going to be a huge, like massive multiple coin, but I wouldn't be surprised if we can see this coin climbing to around $3, maybe even $4 in a great bull market. Now, where else would I want to be putting my money right now? Now, we've seen some of the big moves happening in bigger cap coins, such as Link, Solana, etc. I'm waiting for Ethereum to make a push. But I think if Ethereum makes a push, we're going to see other coins starting to enjoy their time as well. Render token, which I have talked about quite a lot on this channel. I can't sort of tell you enough why I think render is going to be a great thing, but it's this. When you think about like layer 1 blockchains and everyone getting excited about this one and that one, effectively you've got kind of Ethereum, which is well established. It's got basically everything's being built on Ethereum and will continue to be built on Ethereum. It's very difficult for people to steal market share away from Ethereum because it's a proven model. Solana is starting to steal away market share from it. It's going to do well, but it's a layer 1. It's kind of similar, is maybe a little bit better. And then other people are like, well, what about this one? And what about Casper? And what about that one? And you're like, well, they all kind of do the same thing. Eventually, one of them might basically take the prize, or eventually they're just going to fight it out. And then you're just going to split up their market caps, whatever, no matter how many like good deals and whatever they get. That's why I kind of am starting to become less excited about the Caspers of this world, and starting to become less excited about the H-bars of this world, and more excited about one-of-a-kinds. Now, this is not one-of-a-kind in that the work it does is done by other products, but nothing on-chain is done in the way that render works. As we can see, market cap, small to medium, under $1 billion, around $840 million. Circulating supply, up towards 70% and still having a bit of an unlock, but that's not too bad. So what is Render Network and why is it different from other cryptos? Well, Render Network basically supplies GPU rendering on the blockchain. What is GPU rendering? Well, in a video game or something like that, basically when you turn around, that kind of like image doesn't really exist. Like I'm sat in this room right now, I know that exists over there, but in a video game, you turn around and then it's produced, it renders out. Hope that makes sense. Hope that's a very simple description. Basically, in new video games that are really like hyper detailed and whatever, it's extremely demanding on things like rendering, and many people out there don't have the ability to perform these tasks with the computer systems they've got. Also, when you think about kind of virtual reality and you think about the metaverse and all this stuff that's going to need rendering power, that can be provided by the Render Network, and you will be able to access it if you are requiring it for GameFi or making the metaverse or whatever it is as a developer you're doing. You can borrow other people's computing power via the blockchain in order to basically use their rendering services. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so why is it important? Well, GameFi, we're going to see a massive growth. GameFi has been crushed towards the downside because it's really expensive to develop games, And basically we've been in a bear market, so no one's got money. And they've all had to use the kind of funds and sell off tokens to be able to fund the project growth while it's been going on. All those people who are like, oh, this project's not selling off coins at all. These are expensive projects to build, guys. You need to basically borrow money against the shareholders in order to develop the project further. And that's why, it rewards you if you kind of stay in for a long time if they do the right work. So anyway, getting back on track, because, I go down rabbit holes because I don't really use a script, as you can tell. Surely. So Render Network then basically will benefit off of other industries doing well. GameFi does well, Render Network does well. If the AI niche does well, Render Network does well. If the metaverse stuff does well, I think Render Network will still do well. And it's gaining a lot of influence right now across Twitter and other platforms, which is really interesting. I don't know why it suddenly caught the eye of people who think this is like the most exciting and, interesting project going. I wouldn't say it was the most interesting project going, but it's a one of a kind, and it's definitely got my attention. And if we look into the price chart, you'll see that it is not an ideal time to be buying Render. Despite me saying that this video is about buying coins in November, it is. But right this second, the 3rd of November, I wouldn't be buying into Render. Why not? Well, because you can see that we've had a fairly aggressive pump compared with the rest of the market, which has sort of been floundering and now is starting to push a little bit. Render's been pumping and now it's starting to pull back a bit. We can see that it's run into this area of sort of resistance across here. And now you might be like, well, it's a cup and handle. This is a cup and then this is the handle. I think you're right. But what will typically happen when we run into this sort of zone is we could see another bit of a kind of a pullback here. Now, I think for me, I will be looking if Render can push down maybe just a little bit further to be kind of accumulating in sort of this area through here. Because we've got clearly a bit of a buy zone. Now, what's that? 2.06. In terms of a price move from current levels, that's down around sort of another 10, 11%. Does that make much difference to you as an individual? Potentially not, guys. But if I want to be maximizing and making the most profit I can, then I will do it. If I miss out on Render, do I care? Absolutely not, because there's always another coin. There's always another day. And if you want to know what those coins and other days are all about, then you need to get into the inner circle link down below, where myself and a bunch of other guys who spend way too much time looking at cryptocurrency are all basically interacting with each other, sharing our different charts and all of this sort of stuff here. You can see people talking about buying GFAL. You can see people looking at to buy Phantom, various other coins that you might not have even thought about right now. As well as that, I'm giving you insights into what I'm doing every single day, charts and things that I'm looking at, different tools and stuff that I've been using. I also share a bunch of the best crypto tools anywhere on the market right now. There's groups where people are basically trading and buying NFT in order to take the most of the opportunity right now. Also, if you join through the inner circle link down below, just $9.99 per month, guys, with a 5-day free trial, then you can invest in the new generation of the blockchain through our venture capital fund. That means you can buy into new crypto projects before they've even hit an ICO. That means you can buy in alongside the likes of Binance Labs for like $0.02 on a coin that would do an ICO at around 20 cents. That's a 10x from your purchase at pre-sale to the ICO. Absolute no-brainer, guys. You get in through that link down below and you're going to have an exclusive access to something that no one else is able to do out there by joining our pool venture capital fund. Typically, you need $100,000 to enter into these projects, but we basically pool everyone's money together in order to be able to access these super early top quality projects. We've just had a raise for a project that's just done a partnership with Google alongside Binance Labs. Absolute monster. So guys, make sure you check it out, link down below in the description. And if you do sign up with Discord. It's much easier to get through rather than using Telegram. Hopefully you enjoyed that video, guys. So if you did enjoy it, then please hit me a like and have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week with some more videos. Bye bye.